Update. AITA for faking food poisoning to teach my boyfriend a lesson? I received quite a few messages regarding this post and figured I would give an update since something incredibly ironic happened anyway. To start, many of you suggested that I purchase color-coded knives and cutting boards and that I have a serious discussion with him about the subject. These are things I have done in the past, but I figured another try wouldn't hurt. I sat down with him and explained that although cross-contamination might not be a big deal to him, that it is to me, and that it would make me feel a lot better if he would please take my feelings into consideration. He promised me that he would be more careful. But then the next afternoon I saw him put a cutting board away without washing it, after having chopped raw chicken on it. This obviously bothered me, but I decided not to say anything since we were fresh out of conflict. That same night I took him out to a nice dinner as a way to make up for missing the one at his parents' house. We had a lovely time and things seemed to be on the mend for a few hours. Later that night, however, he developed really terrible food poisoning, and to make matters worse, he was supposed to start his new job the next morning and ended up calling in sick. He blamed me for it because he thought that the food at the restaurant was what made him ill. I told him that I didn't see how it could have been that because we shared dishes and I was feeling fine. The following day his mother called and let us know that she had just taken his dad to the hospital. Apparently he had been feeling super unwell and we all assumed it was related to a chronic disease that he's had for a few years now. He ended up needing multiple blood transfusions and tests found none other than E. coli in his urine. In the days following, my boyfriend continued to miss work and I discovered that about half the people that attended his celebration dinner the weekend before ended up sick. A bunch of other bullshit happened with his mother trying to blame me for getting people sick, but I won't even bother going down that rabbit hole at the moment. If you hadn't already guessed, my boyfriend got fired from his job without having worked a single day there. Guess not showing up during your first week isn't a good look. On the bright side, he has shown a sudden and intense interest in kitchen hygiene. Apparently getting sick himself and having his dad end up in the hospital is what it took. It's been a couple of weeks since this all took place. A lot of you suggested that I break things off. And at this point I think I may be headed in that direction. Edit. Since some of you were wondering, my boyfriend has gotten sick like this more than once, but he usually has other reasons for why he thinks he's not feeling well. Both of his parents have gotten the stomach flu a few times since we've been together. His dad has a blood disease that has progressed over the years, and so this recent bout of illness put him in pretty bad shape. I always thought my boyfriend had a sensitive stomach. We only began living and cooking together about a year ago and I hadn't realized the severity of his lack of kitchen hygiene until then. I think it's clear this entire family is lacking in kitchen, food hygiene knowledge or habits. Also, I'm just curious how his mother blames you for making everyone sick at the meal she prepared that you were not at. They all seem like a lot of work for full-grown adults. Hope he's worth it. I'm still stuck on the detail of him putting away a cutting board used for chicken as if it was a clean board to use later. Is he just really absent-minded? Or so petty he wanted to make you all sick? The fact that your boyfriend and his entire family are placing the blame on you, even though your boyfriend is well aware that it was his fault and his food that caused him to be sick and his father to be hospitalized. Have some self-respect and leave. Dang. I think I would have already been leaning towards leaving the guy before he was blaming you for everyone getting sick. Like, seeing that dirty raw chicken cutting board get put away would have been my last straw. Blaming you is just the cherry for me. Even if he sees the error in his ways now. How are they blaming you if you didn't go? I know you got voted ta on your last post, but I think it's hilarious that they all got food poisoning at a party you skipped because you faked having food poisoning. Also, I didn't think you were ta in the first place. This incident proved you were right. Did they ever actually determine what food caused the illness and who made it? This is so weird. Please, dear God, give an update after he forgets what it feels like to almost die and does it again. Edited to add NTA. It's kind of weird to me that your BF would get fired when he was sick with E. coli. Even if he hasn't worked a single day, that is a pretty good reason to push the start date out. So it feels like his attitude towards sanitation in the kitchen is a learned behavior. Maybe his parents also don't care about cross-contamination, etc.? Wow, this is one of the most karmic updates we've ever gotten. I don't understand on the original why everyone was calling you psycho and saying you were ta. Other than being petty and missing an event. But honestly, I see your thought process. My BF isn't very knowledgeable about the kitchen. But he knows anything that touches raw meat automatically needs washed. Unless it's fajitas and I'm going from cutting steak to cutting bell peppers and onions. Because he knows all of it is about to be cooked. If some juice hits the counter is off limits and needs cleaned. He will stop me before I can move to the next step for him to clean it for me. Kitchen hygiene is some of the most important hygiene. All I can think about is raw chicken juice contaminating everything and I just gag. I can compromise on a lot of things in life. Basic sanitation is not one of them. I'd be out the door. Personally, I'm not going to live in a place where my physical well-being is treated like a non-priority until precious dad has impacted. I'm worth more than a second thought. Of all the not real stuff I've read on Reddit in the past week, this is the not realest. I'm dealing with it with my toddler son right now, and if someone willfully and knowingly ignored my advice and caused this to happen, I'd be murderously angry. I'm a skeptical person in general. Even more when it comes to AITA posts. So don't take this as an insult. What stands out to me is how this update post just so conveniently supports your first post. Almost too perfectly. But I'm not saying it didn't happen 'cause I wasn't there. It's just my thoughts. I'll give it the benefit of the doubt that it's true and can't squeeze out sympathy for people who don't take cross-contamination seriously. Now he knows to be overly cautious than sorry. At the very least, rinse the cutting board and knife for meats that can be eaten raw before touching produce. They're blaming you for people getting food poisoning at a party you weren't even at? WTF? Girl, run away. Run fast, run far. YTA, because this sounds like a fake development to turn the vote around. This totally reads as fake. The people of Reddit came to the conclusion I'm an and I need to do damage control. Wow. So clearly a learned behavior. And this might be the wake-up call. But his mom blaming you? Well, that's a bad omen for what life together will be like. And I can kind of see him blaming the restaurant as it was the last meal he ate. Yes. Science says it isn't always the last meal. But it feels like it should be. I don't think I could move on from his mother blaming the food poisoning on the person not there. And also for the entire family and him being mad for you being sick. Yes, you knew you were faking it. But if you are sick, you were sick. You didn't stop him from going. You just didn't go. And he is okay with his mom reaching out to tell you that you were rude? And for his other family members as well? If my partner was homesick, I'd be like, super bummed he's sick. I'll wrap up some stuff for him. Let's party. My mom would never contact him to bitch at him. I just can't. And you have to deal with this family and the potential for food poisoning forever. You in danger. Girl.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.